Damn. Hey, what's going on? Once again, it's Sunday. Time for another version, another instance, another session of Talk That Stuff number 69. Yeah! Let's meet the panel. Let's meet the panel. Before I do that, big shout out to the chat. Everyone's piling in now. Let's meet the panel. Let's meet the panel. First time on Talk That Stuff. He is from East New York, Brooklyn, now in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Please welcome to Talk That Stuff, Mr. Sicko.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Up next, from Philly, USA, now in the DMV, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Pen. Go ahead.
Stand for something, fall for anything.
All right. Mental, the God.
Peace.
Up next, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, now in Jersey, let's give a warm Talk That Stuff welcome to Big Stacks.
Salutations.
All right. Up next, from the DMV, just got the footage on the waffle. I mean the hard hubcap. Pause. From DMV, the multi-talented, bass-friendly Black Map.
What up? What's going on?
From Oakland, USA, West Coast. Are you in the building? No, I'm not talking about E40. I'm talking about this brother right here. Also bass-friendly. Let's give it up for RTO Beats. Yeah.
What it do?
And I am from Jersey now in Sticky Icky. Ooh-wee. Florida, I am DJ WIDEBODY, and this is Talk That Stuff number 69. Just getting off work. I smell like a pile of horse manure, but I'm here ready to go. I'm ready to get it in. Where's Blue Pineapple? Beijing Blue Pineapples. Where are you, Blue Pineapples? Let's get it. Let's go. What's going on, everybody?
What up, Sam?
It's good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Man, welcome. Just wanted to touch on something. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Sickle, man. How you doing, brother? Welcome, brother.
I'm doing good, man. Pleasure to be here.
Real quick, revelation before we went on, he was telling us, well, I'll let you go ahead and finish that off, brother. I think the people need to hear this.
Right, to give you a little history on what I was talking about. When the Vegas shooting happened, that exact night, pretty much in the next morning, you know, I started evaluating like all the information that they give us. So, and things just didn't add up. Like, honestly, it didn't hit me all at once, but the main thing that I had to announce to everyone is that, hey, don't get duped. There's multiple calibers and there's multiple shots being fired in multiple locations. So that's why I went live. So I went live that night, said my piece. That morning, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, I get a call from a private number from some well-established, distinguished sounding dude, had to be like in the 50s, maybe 60s, talking about I need to cease from talking about Vegas or I will get handled. So from that next day, I was even more intrigued and even more like, you know, why would somebody call me, you know? So I went deeper.
I think I went
deeper. I have no idea. That's the thing. Like, it baffles me because I don't give anybody my number like that. Wow. And plus, it's a fairly new number too. So everybody who knows me from way back, they still got my 631, and I got an 818 now. So
if your number's on Facebook, they can get it through that.
Nope, it's not even on Facebook. My Facebook still has a 631.
Wow.
That's the crazy part. Yeah, so I mean, I had this number for about a couple of months, so it's almost like a trap phone because I barely give my number out. So after that, you know, I'm sitting there like, he said my full government too, which really shook me from the inside. Yeah. And what's crazy too is he wasn't in silence. There seemed to be like heavy machinery in the background. It was weird, you know, like he was in like a factory or something. And but that made me go deeper. So then I started entertaining the option of there being multiple shooters in multiple positions. One at the rooftop of the Excalibur, which nobody even bothered to check. 300 feet south of the venue at these gas tanks, which are 100 feet up in the air, which is well for like 7.62 fire. I mean, you got a clear shot of the venue. So I'm thinking like a military Marine, if I had to do a kill radius or a kill zone, where would I have my shooters? Because that Mandalay Bay thing doesn't make sense, because you're talking about behind and to an angle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't kill anybody from that angle, but it's just so, it's not right. It's not ideal. You know what I mean? Wow. Plus, here's another thing. Now, listeners, I want you guys to listen very carefully. I just dropped a bombshell to these guys about a link that I got earlier today, which is basically saying that the security guard and the valet parking guy are missing, but nobody knows where they're at. And now you got this third person who was a person of interest, who was a lady that was originally in the networks. She died mysteriously. Wow. No, the coroner doesn't know what's up. The coroner has no idea what the deal is. Apparently, she had some type of kind of like epileptic kind of condition, but nobody seems to be dwelling on it or mentioning the fact that, hey, why are these three people, why is a third person dead? Just so happened she died. You know, it makes no sense. But it's just like the 9/11 thing, man. If you do your homework, 9/11 was meant for people to silence, because that was the beginning of the end.
Wow. So, you know, there was more that you, so there's basically some evidence there was more than one shooter.
Yeah. Here's another thing. I don't know if you guys know this. All right. But there's a video out there. There's pictures. And I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a detective. I wanted to be a homicide detective. I didn't want to deal with nothing else but dead bodies. So when I look at crime scenes, I kind of have a knack for it. One of the things you guys have to really, really look into is you get the tapes from the Vegas tapes around the time when they say breach, breach, breach. All right, then there's silence, and then you hear, oh, he must be dead in there. Okay, but it doesn't correlate with the pictures of the crime scene, because the pictures of the crime scene show a breach, but there's bullet holes on the outside of the door, which means there was a firefight going into the suite. And that kind of doesn't add up with the 200 shots shot down that hallway, apparently to get the security guard. You feel me?
Wow.
So the timing of the things that happened, the sheriff said, where the guy was shot at this time, there were no shots around that time during the 911 tapes.
Wow.
And they could not explain the bullet holes from the outside, not the inside, because you can clearly tell by the holes that they're going in, not out. Wow. So things like that you have to really pay attention to, man. And plus the numerous accounts of people saying there was multiple calibers in that ground level. No network wants to talk about there being shooters at ground level, even though there was, not just at the Mandalay, but 15 minutes before, there was also shots being recorded at the Bellagio.
Yeah, that was put out there. I seen that on the news. I seen the Bellagio shit on the news like a week ago. Wow.
Yeah, but now they're not talking about multiple shooters. If you haven't noticed, they just want to focus on that lone gunman.
Yep. Right.
You know, and the valet parking guy went missing. You know why, right? Because apparently in one of the networks, I think it's Fox 2 or one of the local networks, they were already trying to say in his interview with them that he basically said that, oh, he traveled light. He didn't have a lot of bags. He only had 2 bags. I don't know where he got the rest of these bags and these guns. When he checked in, he only had maybe 1 or 2 bags.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
So earlier, you know, when I first heard of the story, I'm thinking, okay, this brother might have went inside and saw this white dude go and seen a couple of duffel bags. Because if I was gonna sneak in 15 arms into a hotel that's heavily secured, I'm gonna break down those rifles.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna know what piece goes where because I'm trained that way.
Of course.
Right.
So if a person was military trained that way, then I can understand that theory. But this guy, he's 65. He was living like assistance. How is that possible? You know, so one of the theories I was also introducing was this was a CIA arms deal gone bad. And most likely, the people who set this guy up was Mossad. It was Israeli.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my theory. I'm going with the Israel connection here, man. I'm not even being anti-Semitic, but hey, I was there for 9/11. And I have family that are cops that served around that time, and one of my family members happened to stop these Israeli dudes on the George Washington Bridge with a mysterious stuff to build bombs with, but yet they got sent back to Israel. That makes no sense. You just had a terroristic, one of the most biggest terrorist
acts in freaking U.S. soil since Hiroshima.
That happened in the whole 21st century, and yet you don't want to round up these guys. You just letting them go back to Israel. It makes no sense.
Right. Well, I was still. I don't want to go back to 9/11, but I was still. You know, when they said they got all of Bin Laden's family out of there right away. I think I got that off of Fahrenheit 9/11, and everyone tried to make Michael Moore look like a clown. Was that Michael Moore's name?
Yeah, that was
Michael look like a clown. Like his shit was very relevant, but he put it together, and I give him his props. If it was fake, then he did a hell of a job, because so, it doesn't surprise me, man. I mean,
exactly.
That's crazy.
That's why
How's everybody doing, man?
Hey, who's that?
What's going on, man?
That?
Hey, what's going on, Black Boys? What's happening, brother?
How y'all doing, man?
Chilling, man. We talking about the Vegas
situation. Yeah. Boy, Sickle Cell dropping some knowledge right now.
Word up.
Thank you, man.
So what? So what I was gonna say. So there was more than one guy. This guy. See, that's why what I got. You know, my complaints on the gun control is. You know, I think everyone should have the right to bear arms, but you don't need a goddamn whole armory. You know, there's no reason for you to have that. Why? You know, automatic weapons.
I'm gonna explain to you the reason why. Being a combat vet, I'm gonna explain to you why, and being a history buff also. Okay, you do your research. Every nation or every that has turned down their weapons ultimately led to tyranny. So the reason why we have these high caliber, fully automatic weapons is not to use it on each other. It's to use it against tyranny. And you always have to be prepared for tyranny, because honestly, gentlemen, I love my brothers and everything, but you can't always put your whole life on one person. You know what I'm saying? You gotta worry about yourself. And when you put power on a person like a president or a chief of police, you're basically waiving your rights to protect yourself. Yeah. So what these people about gun control and people are dying, I totally understand your frustration. But people fucking die every day. People die and get shot by whatever calibers. Hey, that's just the way it is.
Right.
In the middle, a lot more, because that is the culture we are grown up on, that this nation was founded on. Right. So when people think about, oh, we need to stop the guns from coming into, you're thinking inside the box. You're not thinking about the things outside the box that can come in.
Right.
So when you talking about, oh, this man shouldn't have that, that's not for hunting. Yes, it is. It's for hunting tyranny. And we've been too comfortable in this nation to open our eyes and to take out the veil from in front of our eyes to really see who the real enemy is. I mean, we got race wars. Even more, it's worse than it's almost just getting to the 1960s.
It does kind of feel, I didn't grow up in the 60s, but it does feel like, I mean, I've been saying that for a few weeks now. It feels like some race war shit, man. I mean, you'll see
and this is all by design.
Right. This year alone, I've seen more racist shit than I've ever seen in my lifetime, man. And, you know, I'm not no spring chicken. And it just seems like as soon as Trump got in office, I'm not putting it all on Trump, but guarantee, you know, it just seemed like, man, people are just not afraid to, you know, wear that shit on their sleeves, man. It's sad, dude.
Yeah.
Sad.
So why, Bobby? Am I wrong for that? For believing like every man should have a high caliber rifle, just right in the closet in case some shit go down?
Man, you can believe whatever you want, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta fucking believe whatever you want. Like shit.
But just know that my intention is only for break the glass in case of emergency type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is not just to walk around the streets by the flex. No way.
Yeah, but also I don't think you over there with 33 fucking weapons either.
Yeah, dude, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, you
brother,
got a lot of crazy.
I am in the state of Arkansas. My dude, you will be surprised what I got.
Hey, you know, it's like I do should feel the right to protect your family. I don't know, man. Like you start talking about Uzis and shit like that, and like, you know,
about bunkers and all of that.
Yeah, you know, some people are like that, man. Which you know, you have people that thinks that, you know, we were out to have a nuclear holocaust, and I got an underground bunker, refrigerator, and solar power, and whatever, and you know, I don't know, man. You know, it's you know, they cover a lot of shit. And anytime anyone wants to chime in, man, please be my guest.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shit, that's crazy. Some crazy shit out here right now. You're right.
It's been out here though. They just pick and choose when they want to display it. Right. Sometimes it's just some shit to let you know. Other times it's to cover up some other shit. Like it's just crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even getting on no, you know, long drawn out shit about it. It's just a lot of this shit don't even fucking logically make sense.
Thank you.
People just be taking the bait and having discussions and arguing their points, and you be looking at them like what the fuck sense would that make for you to go that route? You know what I'm saying? Like what you were saying, you know, like, I mean, of course, like I'm not ex-military and no shit like that, but again, like just knowing the nature of how anything tactical is basically like running machinery. You're going to look for the path of least resistance with whatever you're doing. So why would you go and set yourself up to, if that's what you're after, as far as like killing a mass amount of people, why would you make your target a target that's like undeemable rather than, okay, I want to try to create some diversion? But again, you run the risk of being seen, which is why people are coming up missing. So,
well, then,
you know.
There's another thing I want to chime in on, Black TV. You're absolutely right. But once again, you have to think we're dealing with psychopaths that run the world. All right. And psychopaths do not follow the same rules as we do. So, and plus they have a way of communicating with each other, either through numbers or with symbols. That's why we have these esoteric symbols all over in the corporations. So if you think, like, what better place than right in front of a sphinx and a pyramid? I mean, that's the ultimate sacrifice right there. And it's all been blood sacrifices from Sandy Hook, Orlando, and it all falls in with gun control because they want us to take our guns so that we're powerless and they can start the eugenic agenda.
They know where to come and relieve you. I've been saying that for a minute.
There's so much illegal shit going on. What you saying?
As long as there's a city, I'm gonna have a gun. You can take all the guns you want, but I'm gonna find a way to get one.
I promote that. I promote that.
And there's always a way to find it too.
Exactly. Man. My gun control is me holding my joint with two hands. You know what I'm saying? That's my gun control. Ain't nobody taking my shit though. I'm military trained. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that.
I was damn good, man, with the M16, man.
Yeah,
but that was my third arm
as a
man.
marksman.
Straight up, that was my third arm right there.
Mm-hmm.
I got sharpshooter and boot camp. I got all that stuff.
Were you in the Marine Corps?
Yes, sir. 96 to 2000.
Right?
Wow.
Semper Fi.
Army head myself, man.
I did 11 years, 10 and a half years in the Navy.
Man. I did 7 and a little change, man.
My brother's in the Navy right now.
Thanks for your service, fellas.
I still work with military. I work with Air Force and Navy every day. That's my job right now because I still work for the government and shit. I just fuck with satellites now.
Oh, nice. Much props to you, brother. For real. That's
so. Look, matter of fact, real quick. So y'all heard about that? Like 2 weeks ago when them American troops got killed over in Africa.
Mm-hmm. No.
So
about it. Tell me, please.
So look, so the bodies were missing, right? Like didn't know where to go in and actually get the bodies of these Americans and shit. My job in our satellite system, man, we fucking basically, because we fuck with the Pathfinder and a couple other satellites and shit, but our satellite shit basically built a 3D image of the area, and that's how the motherfuckers was able to go find the Americans' bodies and bring them back to the soil. It was my job.
Wow.
Yeah, we do some thorough ass shit, man. You know what I'm
saying?
Crazy. Yeah,
hey, I got a quick question for you, Ari. Mm-hmm. Hey, it was since you work with satellites, I was always wanted to ask somebody this. Is there a restriction to like the amount of information you get from like, let's say Antarctica?
Mm-hmm.
Is there just a limited amount? Because there's a lot of mysteries down there, man.
No, say that again. You was breaking up. Like I missed like 4 words at least.
I was saying since you work with satellites, is there like restrictions to the amount of information you get from places like, let's say, for instance, Antarctica?
So it depends. Like the Pathfinder that we have now, you get anything at any time. Because the Pathfinder, and this shit is crazy, it is taking a picture at any given moment, like pick a time on the fucking clock. At any given moment, this Pathfinder is taking snapshots of 25% of the Earth. Like it's always looking at 25% of the Earth. So we can point the satellite to look at 25% in one direction while still getting a 3D image of some shit which is outside of the 25% zone. Like it has that capability. So this we can see anything. And like
some deja vu type shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I'm talking like all the way down to like street level. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can zoom that bitch out, or we can see all the way down to the fucking street. You know what I mean?
Wow. Great. Damn, street
Well,
view.
how funny it is. Like, we went from enemy of the state when it was like, oh man, this is just science fiction. To real life.
To real shit. Mm-hmm. To real shit, man. But that's why I stay on this side of it. You know what I'm saying? I need to know what's coming. You know what I'm saying?
Word up.
You know? Because everybody know how I get down, but I keep a thorough ass job because shit, we got to be in positions to know what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree, man. Right. I agree. Totally.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Shit.
Yo, that's real, man. Hey, stay woke, man. Stay woke. You know, stay woke.
Sleep.
I need to
question.
I'm still opening my eyes right now. I don't claim to be a real woke dude, but I'm on the path to it. So, you know, I just keep my eyes open, my ears open, my mouth shut sometimes, man, and just peep shit. See how shit get played out, man. And, you know, I think I've been more work than, you know, I've never, you know, my whole thing has been staying alive, man, paying the bills and providing for myself and my family. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? You know, now I know that being woke has an effect. It could have possibly, you know, the shit that I'm checking out has an effect on me being able to do that. So, you know, shit's real out there, man. They do a lot of covering up between this media. And you know, and then you know, the shit that's in plain sight is this distraction. You know what I'm saying? It seems like.
Yep.
You know, they throw you that. So look over here, and then meanwhile over there, you know, when they shit.
That's some evil legislation.
It's fucked up. You got a death threat like that, man. And I would be worried how they obtained your phone number because this man might have been on some job like, say, Mental's working now where he has access and shit like that and using that, you know, to gotta watch that, man. What's going on, Wallace?
That's trife, man.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. You know what I'm saying?
What's happening?
And real shit in here, dude. Mr. Sable joined us today. He was saying how he got a death threat. He did a podcast on the Las Vegas situation and it happened to, you know, there'd be more than one shooter, and someone called him from an unlisted number, private number, and you know his number's unlisted, and basically told him to, you know, stop talking about it, cease and desist.
And there was the night after, like it was not even 24 hours yet.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I also want to comment on this, fellas. You guys know about the Illuminati card game?
No.
Yeah, I know about that shit.
Not familiar with it.
All right. Well, this is why I want to bring this and address this. Remember earlier in the podcast, I just said that this world is ran by psychopaths that really do not follow the rules that we do. But they connect and they communicate with each other through esoteric symbols and numerology. So if you Google right now, Las Vegas Illuminati card game, you're going to see that Las Vegas has a card. And there's two letters. There's the J and I think K, or letters in the card games, like Jack and I think the King. And it just so happens, all right, now this is weird, but like people that go in and deep, the J and the K just so happens to be the same look, and the insignia of that card happens to be the tattoo of that country guy that they were shooting at that left the whole fucking the whole concert.
Jason Aldean.
You guys saw that video? Yeah, that guy that once he heard the bucking, he ran. Kind of like he kind of knew that shit was going down. Plus, on top of that, he didn't even reach out to his fans to be like, "Look, I'm sorry." Like even on here, Ariana Grande reached out to her fans when that shit popped off in her concert. But this guy, there was something was weird about this country guy, and it's just so weird that this card happens to have the same tattoo that this man rocks in his right arm.
Wow, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, like deep stuff like that, man. I mean, people were gonna call you crazy left and right. It's the nature of the business. But remember, in order to stay awoke, you got to look at all the pieces and just give out information to like brothers like you, not to tell you that, hey, this is how it is, but it's just added information. For all I know, you guys can find it and put it together even better than I can. You know what I'm saying? So don't, a lot of people are going to discredit you and tell you that you're wrong. Just say it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right. I'll be blue washing dishes again.
Yeah. Who's there on the dishes?
Nah.
Water.
Finishing my cheesesteak and shit.
I'm muted. How come I'm washing dishes?
I'm fucking with you. How you doing, Blue?
What's going on?
Yeah, man, you know Blue's sensitive, man. Come on, bro.
Nah, I ain't sensitive now.
Nigga, you sensitive.
Nah, I'm
Check it
not.
out. Now we had
only a sensitive nigga would answer like that, but it's cool.
Well, I ain't a nigga either, so that don't apply to me.
Here you go.
What's going on, y'all? And let's get to next thing. Hey, Mental, I'll let you go ahead and start it off because you were more familiar with it than I am. Definitely. I'm gonna go play the video.
So, all right, cool. And you know what? It's 8 minutes long, dog. You only got to play like the first minute or two, and everybody get the fucking.
All right, I'll go ahead and play it now. Hold on, let me set up.
Because I'm sure niggas didn't click on the link in the group chats.
Here we go. Let me pull this up. Okay, let me share the screen and hold on.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, blessed girl, how you doing?
Hold on, blessed girl.
How's it going, blessed girl? Let's see here. 1 second. Guys. Oh, messed up. Let's share my screen share.
Matter of fact, while you doing that, I'm gonna talk about some shit too. So, a lot of people be claiming this woke shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Woke. A lot of us been awake our whole fucking lives. Some people just woke up last week. You know what I'm saying? And be like overboard with this shit. Like be too extra. I'm black. I'm this. I'm that. No, like that shit is corny. You know what I'm saying? Like Erykah Badu said she stayed woke in 2008. What the fuck everybody else did? You know? Like,
y'all see that? Y'all see that? Let's go. Here we go.
We can hear it too.
Mailbox 51158. To listen, press 0. To delete, press *D. To skip, press the #sign. This message is for Jake and Jason Nicholas. I've been listening to him on Fox. You know, this fucking nigga, you niggas are not going to be satisfied until you change every fucking piece of shit holiday to nigga day. Okay, you can have it. Let's change Martin Luther King, nigga day. Christmas, nigga day. Columbus, nigga day. He's talking about Columbus killing 200,000 people. Well, it's the fucking camel niggas. They got the nigga blood in them. The terrorists, the fucking Syrian Muslim piece of shit ISIS nigga terrorists. Well, don't you give a shit about them? I mean, how many people did they kill? The fucking camel niggas. How many fucking niggas that were killed in Africa by other niggas? Huh? You tell me that. How about the trafficking, nigga trafficking of young children? What about that, you fucking piece of shit? You're unbelievable. You niggas are unbelievable. I mean, it's just, you blame everybody else for your demise. And you know what? You love to get a bleeding heart because that's how you survive, by playing the fucking victims. You people cannot live in a...
All right, let's skip this thing. Holy shit.
Wow.
All right, so look, so that is...
I'm up to that. I saw
Y'all heard the first minute of an 8-long minute fucking rant where this bitch actually let the voicemail play out and then called right back to say what the fuck she had to say. Now, the reason why this shit's important to me and the reason why I was posting up shit like, you know what I'm saying, in the group chats when my man Mike posted up is because the person that she called is one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That's my man Jason Nichols, aka Jesus of Wade Waters from fucking DC. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the best, most thorough, most intelligent niggas I know. He got a fucking PhD. He teaches at the University of Maryland, College Park, African American Studies, and he runs the fucking the multicultural organization over there. So he, ever since he got the in about a week or so, there's an article, magazine joint coming out that we did, me, him, and one of our other homeboys named Dominic about black fatherhood, being single black fathers. So we got some thorough shit coming, and me and him working on the book too. But back to the other shit. So ever since he got his PhD, my man started really, you know what I'm saying, doing different speaking engagements and doing lectures and getting invited to a lot of different, like he was at the premiere of the African American Museum in DC, rubbing elbows with Sam Jackson and Maxine Waters and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So he's been doing some really, really thorough, intelligent shit. So because he's doing all of that, he's had opportunities to sit in the same room with all the rest of the reporters and interview Trump, and which was cool because he declined. He was like, "Nah, I'm cool on that. Like, I don't really need to do all that." But you know what I'm saying? So he got morals too. Like he just ain't doing shit just to do it. But because of how he carries himself, he was invited to Fox News, like national television. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I'm surprised they invited him.
Yeah, exactly. So was I. I was like, shit, they invited an intelligent black man?
Not CNN. Fox?
Right. Wow. So he gets on CNN, you know what I'm saying? And he gets on Fox News and, you know, conducts the interview. They asking him all types of questions and he's answering and answering and answering. Now, obviously, he probably said too much intelligent shit. He probably made too much sense, and he spoke too good of English because it really pissed this lady off. Right? So, to the point where if you let that shit play out, the next 7 minutes is her rambling about all types of shit. Like, she never had one coherent point. It was just the fact that she wanted to use the word nigga as many times.
Yeah. That's stupid. Yeah. You can't even fucking get out of the ghetto. You love it because
and look, so she's saying all of this shit about you're unemployed, you can't get out the ghetto, you can't this and that, while she's talking to a person who's employed, and she's leaving that voicemail on his job phone at the campus. She didn't get his cell phone number, she got his job number and figured out where he works at and all of this other shit. So she's just ranting and raving because someone had something intelligent to say. And basically, she couldn't handle it. So come to find out, you know what I'm saying? He figures out and was able to find out that she's a probation officer.
What?
Part of her shit that
that's deep.
Part of her shit that she's talking about is how she works with all these no good niggas and this, that, and the third. So it's like, okay, you a fucking probation officer. You're supposed to work with criminals. What the fuck do you expect? Right? Yep. That's the first thing. But at the same time, this bitch talking about I almost got raped by a fucking nigga. So did you or didn't you? Like she never went in. She just like throwing out all of these fucking things to prove how bad niggas are. But you could take the word nigga out and replace that with any race, and the same shit still applies. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why she was even talking about sand niggas. ISIS and fucking sand niggas. Like what? Like
the niggas never showed up. The 5 whites did. This is a pre-apprenticeship program trying to get the GED, and I was a teacher and counselor. I was a good person. I didn't feel the way I did. The more you deal with niggas, the more you're disgusted with them. But anyway, none of these niggas showed up, right? And I asked them very nicely. I said, why aren't you all? That niggers are the ones who don't even have anything to do with them, like that fucking Hillary cunt and that other piece of shit Pelosi. I don't very much if they have anything to do with niggas. And this fucking you should be kneeling for the security people who help the fucking nigger athletes, who protect them. That's who you should be kneeling for.
Nigger athletes.
Policemen who sit there and protect these fucking piece of shit athletes. You know, you're disgusting as a race. You really are. And if I were black, I'd be so fucking humiliated and embarrassed. It's about time you hear white people. A lot of white people feel like I do because you're nothing but fucking niggas.
So the crazy shit is, so everything that she said, yeah, exactly. Everything that she said had nothing to do with what he was talking about on Fox News. It had nothing to do with the answers. You know, the questions that he was asked, nothing. She was just on a fucking tirade just to use the word nigga as many times as she could. You know what I'm saying? So, being intelligent, he was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the cops involved, campus security and all that shit, and then we're going to put her on blast and make this shit go viral. So that's why.
Hell yeah, I'll help you.
Yeah, that's why I keep telling everybody, share the fucking video out. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually we are going to get her fucking face, and then we're going to plaster that shit up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It made it to Vlad TV and World Star Hip Hop. So we get that shit out there.
I'll give it to my
The crazy part is, racism is irrational, and so it's not surprising to see someone act that nuts.
Exactly,
because it's nuts to hate a whole race of people that you don't know.
Not at all, man.
Irrational about that. That's crazy.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yep.
Hate a whole group.
But the sad thing is, man, he gets those type of voicemails and emails and shit all the damn time. Death threats, none.
Really?
He's cool with it. He's cool with it now, but he's like, yo, as soon as this shit starts throwing up on my doorstep, now it's a real problem because he got a wife and 2 kids.
You gotta take the trash out, man. You gotta take the trash out. But check this out. You know, it just seems like, you know, they just want us to shut up and just fall in line, man. People are tired of it, and that's kudos to him. And this is another thing I gotta say. And I was just talking to a brother the other day about that. You can't ration with violence anymore. Nope. You got to use your fucking minds, man.
Yep, exactly.
Use your minds because they ain't gonna see that coming. Yeah. And they hate that shit when you use your mind, man. Use your mind. You kill them more because they think you're gonna be irrational and wanna try to, you know, hurt someone physically. Nah, it's not about that anymore. This is not that kind of war. Exactly, this is the thinking man's war. This is a game of chess. It's not this chess, not checkers.
That's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, because it's easy for us to resort back to violence, but all that's gonna do is give them more fuel for they fucking bullshit ass fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, let me kill y'all with this fucking brain of mine. You know what I mean? Like, this shit don't make no sense, man. Like, it really makes no sense at all. You know that stuff like this still goes on, but it's not surprising. You know what I'm saying? It was just surprising that fucking it was 8 minutes long.
She was like,
she might need a mental health screening. I mean, she's out of her mind.
She don't need to be nobody probation officer. She needs help.
I feel sorry for the hell who got assigned to her.
You already know she violating niggas left and right for nothing. For nothing. Probably violating a couple cool ass white people that's cool with the nigga.
She batshit crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, for her to have that much hatred, man.
That's how back she is.
For her to have that much hatred, we're like, you know what? We have to expose her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that the shit's getting out there because my people in Philly seen that video before I did. Like, I got a phone call from my chick, like, yo, isn't one of your good friends named Jason Nichols? And I'm thinking she done seen like some real horrible shit, like something happened. She done read it in the paper. I'm like, yeah, what you talking about? So like, yo, turn on Facebook or whatever. I turn this shit on to see it. So I call him. I'm like, yo, is this recent? He be like, bro, this shit just happened like yesterday. I'm like, God damn.
RTO. RTO. Right on, man.
RTO.
He's still here. I hear him in the corner. Well, that's crazy. Racism is real, and man, it just feels like we're in a race war right now, man. Back, talking about, the whole flag shit, man, and they don't want to hear that it's not about the flag. They don't want to hear that shit. They just want to make it to where we're, defacing or saying fuck the, it's like they don't want to hear that shit, man. They're like, and I was saying, maybe I'm wrong, man, but I think this is a great start to people being able to protest peacefully. I think it's a good thing, and maybe it's not the best platform. Maybe it's not. Some people might think that, okay, you can have that, but this is a start. And you can look at this to where this is the new wave now, protesting and standing up for something you believe in, not just sitting idle and letting things happen, which, a lot of people are guilty of. And to those people that say about the flag and everything, do you stand for the flag when the damn from the house? You're supposed to, if you want to be do you stand up for the flag when he's singing it? I mean, sitting in the house?
What was you about to ask me?
I'm gonna ask you your opinion on this.
Eating.
Okay. I want to keep it. What is your feelings on the whole situation with the racism thing, man?
I mean, I don't even want to. That bitch was off her fucking rocker. Like, she was saying shit that was, because I watched the video beforehand too. There was a part where she was saying shit that made no sense. She was saying that fucking black people niggas don't work and do none of this shit. But at the same time, she can't get no jobs because of affirmative action. So, I mean, that shit don't even make sense. I'm like, the two don't even go together. So I'm like, man, this bitch stupid as fuck. So yeah, I mean, she's just another stupid motherfucker speaking on some dumb shit. So that's all I felt about it.
Yeah,
right. It's not a good look for them kind of people, man. That's not how you fight. They're like, man, bitch, you better get in line. Why would you even call that man and say that? Like,
exactly.
Like that, you're supposed to have the cover and you gotta hide your racism. You just can't, use it as a weapon, not use it as a tool and shit. Like, this just goes to show you, man. Hey, it's cool, man. But you know what? I'm proud to be black, man. I'm glad I was born black, man. Because being black has made me a strong motherfucker. I've been not struggling all my life, but we've always been the underdog, man. You always gotta, from the various jobs that I work, you always gotta come in and prove yourself, because the stereotype, you're dead from the start. You don't have a chance. You gotta prove yourself, man.
Right.
It makes you stronger, man. Strong people, man. I've been talking about for any minority, man.
Yo, where's that echo coming from?
1, 2. 1, 2.
Let's have the video.
It might be you, Mr. Sickle.
It might be me. All right.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's him. It's him.
There we go.
You gotta have turn something down and
you might have the YouTube up or something. Yeah.
YouTube on?
You gotta cut it off. I mean, cut it down. Yeah. Or
turn it down and just you gotta unmute yourself though. I can't unmute you.
Yeah.
What's up with my computer, man?
So,
but
can I say something about this right quick?
Absolutely.
So a couple of things. First of all, I mean, everybody talking about how irrational she is, but when you have hatred for a person or for a group of people, it rarely hatred on this level is rarely rational.
Right. It can't be.
Because the source of hatred has to be typically a personal wrong that's been committed. And what's unfortunate about this is, here's a woman who has the capacity. When we talk about racism, you talk about people having the capacity to affect others, having the power to affect somebody else based on their race. If she's a PO, just consider the power that she has in her ability to discern whether or not a person, period, point blank. So the unfortunate truth of it is, what struck me was, this woman could be anybody. This woman could be a teacher. This woman could be a principal. This woman could work at the Social Security office. This woman could work at Target. This woman could be your boss, nigga.
Real.
Period, point blank. And that's what's kind of that's what's scary about it.
Yeah, it is.
Because she's so hurt. The rage that will cause you to call a complete stranger, risk your own professional reputation, risk your own safety, risk your own, because these days there is no such thing as anonymity.
Nope.
The rage involved in being willing to go that far with it is crazy. And true, there definitely is a mental sickness involved in it. But at the end of the day, this woman could be anybody. Right?
Yeah.
Now, what it strikes me is what emboldened her, and this is what's really tripped out. What emboldened her to say some shit like that on the internet, or not on the internet, but to this man privately, is the fact that there's a lot of people around her that feel like that.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep.
So, I mean, it go back to what Mental talked about in terms of people saying being woke and this, that, and the third as though it's a trend.
Yep.
It's about, I mean, it's a recognition early on in a person of our lineage that says that anybody can be your enemy. We're taught to treat people a certain way because anybody can help you. Anybody can support you. The next man might come along, but in the back of our minds, that does something to us.
Right.
Because for every person that's offended by what we just heard, there's another person that's like, here, motherfucker.
Right.
Yep. And that's hooray. That's true. And it's just a lot of it, when you had that irrational hatred, a lot of it ain't based in fact. She's talking about people being on welfare.
Yep.
She's talking about, it's this suppression of rationale from the perspective of what is the cause? It's black men that's killing each other in Chicago every day. What's the cause?
Right.
It's economic. It's economic. I mean, it's economic. It's not a racial. It's not biological.
No.
Because if I put any one of y'all and raised y'all in a middle class neighborhood with middle class parents, your mindset is going to be different because your association is going to be different too.
Absolutely.
But when it's about survival, and you in a system that has the capacity to prevent you from being successful solely because of your race, that's what people do. Because I mean, look at gang lifestyle. Gang lifestyle is based on the need for power, the need for relationships, the need for freedom.
To respond to this message, press
Gangs
1.
off of
To
that.
delete, press star D.
You know what I'm saying? So it's what it is. And I mean, I think it should frame your thinking, not necessarily being antagonistic towards other people, but recognize the fact that there are people out there that truly believe that just because you are black, that you are lesser than.
True that.
And if you needed any reminder, that was it.
There you go.
No, and I was going to say that, some of the stuff you mentioned, there's studies out there that shows your point about the transracial adoption, like Scar and Weinberg's work show just that you show IQ points go up just being in a better environment for inner city kids adopted transracially into middle class neighborhoods, or families. So, right.
You know what's so sick too is YouTube is starting to become political. I'm not talking about on YouTube. I'm talking about YouTube. Period. They're feeling they gotta. I didn't have a lot of views anyway. My views got cut in half. It ain't because I'm not changing nothing I do. We in here doing stuff. They feel that we're in here just talking about shit. They cut it. I got half the views I used to get. There's a lot of people out there that have these shows, these content shows, and they're cutting them shits. Their views have gone down. So now YouTube's in the whole. Because why not? Why didn't it? Why not target YouTube? Because half of these, let's be honest, most of the people getting their shit out and their opinions was on YouTube.
Right.
This is probably the biggest, the social media site to do that. And now they're regulating that shit. Nobody want to hear that you cutting it because of this. You're trying to save your ass, and you're trying to save your ass. So, just YouTube, I'm ashamed of them, man. Like, fucked up, man. This was a good thing, man, and it will probably continue to be, a good thing, but on a smaller scale now because YouTube's coming stepping in. They're on the political shit too, man.
Was it filtering? Yeah, and who owns it? They're probably right wingers for all we know. They don't want to hear what we're saying, right?
I mean, consider this. Like I had my son. I live in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only I have a black man that's a business owner that lives across the street from me that's probably about 55, 60 years old. But other than the two of us, we are the only African American people in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
In our neighborhood, in our subdivision that we've seen. And my son is 6, and I take my son out. I work in the hood, and I take my son out there, and I roll him through the. I don't just take the highway. I roll through the streets, and my son's 6, and I'm like, look, everybody ain't living like you. I mean, we ain't balling, but everybody ain't living like you, and the reason why is because a lot of it has to do with the choices that you make.
Yep.
Also, there's also things that are at work that keep people thinking certain ways and keep people in certain places. Yep. You know, so you got to always keep that in mind, because my man and daddy could be living over here in a year. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so you know, my son, I think about my son, and like we was talking about, like me and Big Stacks was just talking about in terms of the transracial piece. My son, I think about the fact that my son has no knowledge of that. My son, the only black dude in his class, he has no knowledge of any of that, and that's crazy. It's all conditioned. So at the end of the day, the only way you can affect it is by teaching your children to think for themselves and not rely on archaic ways of thinking in terms of who should and who should not.
Right.
Yeah. No, there ain't nothing wrong with being, you know, one of only 2 black people in the neighborhood, man. I see nothing wrong with that. Like, I lived in Philly. I grew up during the drug era. I got locked up. I fucking knocked people's heads off. I got stabbed. I did all this wild shit. So my son don't never have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's the reason why I live where I live at now. There's not a lot of niggas out here, and I'm cool with that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because one, he don't need to just know the black experience. He get that by default. He always gonna get that black experience because the color of his skin. So, you know what I'm saying? I need you to know how everybody works in that. You know, you judge people based off of people, not because of the color of their skin. I don't give a fuck what a person look like. I've only been fucked over by niggas that I know of. You know what I'm saying? Now, I still got a lot of niggas I love, but at the same time, I got a lot of white people I love too. I got a lot of Indian people, Asian people, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just me. Like, I never, once I moved from Philly to the suburbs around like 8th and 9th grade and really got to interact with white people, it was like, some of these motherfuckers ain't that bad. But them motherfuckers over there, oh yeah, we don't fuck with them because they don't like us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you kind of gotta pick and choose. But you know, just like Wallace, like most the niggas that live in my neighborhood, I don't let my son associate with them because I fucking hate them little kids and I hate they bitch ass fathers because they're not about shit. So you're not gonna bring my kid down, and my kid ain't gonna hang with you just because y'all kind of look alike. No, because y'all niggas ain't nothing alike except the color of your skin. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I can tell the niggas that live in the back of our apartment complex, they going to jail by the time they graduate. Damn. My son, he probably going to the military or college or both. You know what I'm saying? So
but here's the kicker. It's funny you're saying that. That's something I always want to talk about is how somehow, some way, and I think some of it's by design, I think some of it's by our own action, we've become so culturally distant from the mainstream. I think that is one of the biggest fears of people of color, especially our people of this generation, man. I see so many cats, and I've been on a college campus, but they're not ready for prime time. I'm like, they've not been socialized to win.
Yep.
I can think of old Bill Pops was big into that. Here's how you got to conduct yourself.
Right.
Here's how you handle yourself in this way. You know, speak properly. You use the correct English. You know, there's little things that help you socialize and make it through mainstream society. Because, like it or not, in America, us being 12% of the population, you got to go through some white folks to get there 99.9% of the time. So, knowing that reality, we have to condition our kids and our youngsters to know how to interact with the larger society. We're too microcosmic, man. That hood shit don't transfer.
Exactly.
You're not gonna win like that. Pops is big on
that. And I want to quote dude, I forget his name, but he said, "Street cred don't get you no house. Street cred,
none. Street cred to the prison.
To the prison.
Word.
Bad credit.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing to keep in mind. One thing we talk about at work. kids rarely become what they have not seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kids rarely become what they have not seen. So
right.
The at the end of the day, you know, I get upset. Like y'all know, I get frustrated with my job because although it's provided me a great life and it's done for my kids and everything, I get frustrated because the challenge seems so insurmountable when I have to fight with you about what I know to be true. Like not what I'm guessing, not there's a little statistical chance that you will be able to raise a child, build wealth, be a good citizen if you don't do what you have to do. And doing what you have to do at their stage of life means not only knocking your chemistry homework out, but learning how to become a self-reliant and a responsible citizen of a community, whether that's the community in the suburbs, whether that's whatever. That's what hurts me about my job, because we end up dealing with so much negative, and we try to be mechanics to try to cultivate a mindset. And if you're a freshman in high school and you've been learning for the last 14 years about being savage, it's tough, because now all of a sudden I'm trying to step in the middle and say, that's not how you do that.
Right.
You got to do it this way. I did it this way. I'm from where you from. And whether you respect me or not, I know it to be true because I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. And that's what frustrates me.
Can imagine.
And that's what makes me say, I want to walk away. But in the same token, hearing that voicemail makes me say, this is where I need to be.
Right.
Yep.
Did you give a shit?
Because at the end of the day, that mentality right there, you will become subject to that. You will become subject to that if you don't adjust your knowledge of self. So that's, I don't know.
Yeah, I let because little Ari is good, you know what I'm saying, good friends with my man Jason too. Like whenever he comes to the crib, he always talk about Ari about being something school, this, that, and the third, like reiterating what I say, but I let him hear it, you know what I'm saying? So I could look, like, just by him listening to it, I could look in my son's face and see that he actually felt something. You know what I mean? Like, he looked like he was about to cry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was like, I needed him to hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
you know,
listen to this.
You know what's tripped out? I was walking through the hallway a few days ago, and one of my teachers was playing the Eminem Trump this or whatever for the kids. And he saw me walk up, and he kind of ran over to the projector to stop it. And I'm like, don't stop it. Don't stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because what he's talking about, and whether or not I got my own feelings about the Eminem thing, but at the end of the day, he's not saying much different than what we've all been saying. It's just coming from a different perspective and a different scope. I'm like, don't stop it. Let them hear it. Let them hear it. I'm cool with that. I'm not tripping on you, because our kids here, the reality that our kids are under is, or the things that they worship is, I'm a star. I'm a dope boy. I know how to cook that work. A lot of our kids do that, but a lot of our kids don't. A lot of our kids is like, that's stupid. But I don't know how. I don't know how to get away from it, because I can't read the way I need to. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in my family thugging, or they're in a place of desperation. So teach me how to do it. And it just trips me out. Like, I'm thinking, like, how do I, you know what I'm saying? How do I break through that cycle to make sure that they understand that whether you black or you white and you in that building, you know, and you come in that building every day, somebody is there to give you something, and you have to take it. If you choose not to take it, you're choosing a lifestyle.
Right.
When you choose that lifestyle, there's risks associated with it that you don't have to have.
That's true.
And that's what I mean. For what Eminem was talking about was he was basically talking down on Trump, but the message behind it is he's trying to undo the progress that has been made independently and individually from people.
Yep.
Because this dude is solely, and I'm not trying to get on no Trump rant, but at the end of the day, he is solely focused on undoing everything that this black man did before he came in, just to have been able to do it. It doesn't stand to benefit anybody. Obamacare does not benefit anybody. Him undoing this Iran deal where Iran kind of scaled back, we're not even concerned about that. We're not even concerned with nuclear war scope of understanding, because we're living in war on a daily basis. So I'm gonna do everything against that nigga, because that's just the way it is. I went to my mama's house. My mama lived about 50 minutes north of me in Flint. I live right outside of Detroit, for those of y'all who don't know. And I was right behind a truck. And you ride through a place, an area called Howell and Highland. It's one of the biggest KKK areas in the country. Wow. And this dude had a bumper sticker that said, "Trump that bitch," on his truck. Wow. I guess insinuating, you know what I'm saying, grab her by the, or whatever. Wow. And what's crazy, the mentality behind that is, I respect Trump. What I took from that is, this dude respect Trump because he has the balls to say what a lot of white folk want to say, like what a lot of them want to represent. I mean, to them, it's some white people that look at Trump like he pop.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the funny part is he's rich though, and has no liabilities for that, like Joe Bob. That's the irony.
Hey, RTO,
not a one.
Damn, I was gonna say RTO seen a post, and some of y'all might have seen it. So, y'all know I'm from Philly, but at some point I moved to the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So, like I was just saying earlier, so you know what I'm saying, I started to develop white friends and shit, and one of the white dudes that hung out with me and all the rest of my nigga friends, you know what I'm saying, up until we graduated high school, went to the Navy, was all about the black experience, was all about this and about that. But if y'all see the shit he was leaving on my fucking post the other day and constantly bringing up Trump when nobody else in the chat is bringing up Trump. He even had, like, one of my best friends is a white dude and shit. Y'all might have seen some of the wedding pictures I was at the other day. That's my man. He like a brother of mine. Like, we couldn't be no more closer than blood. Like, my man is looking at him like, yo, bro, like, I know our skin color is the same, but where the fuck is your head at? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you look like, and like everybody called him a terrorist, a racist. Like, everybody's like, damn, yo, like, you really been thinking like this the whole time? You know, it's for fucking 30 years. You know, and it's a shame because other good white people is looking at him like, bro, you making, like, this is why people think white people are racist, because of dickheads like you.
Yeah, I've had friends, some Facebook cats from high school that's on that redneck shit. Like, man,
right? You saying, Bless Girl?
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh,
yeah, it's like, it's a shame, and and I mean, he might have been thinking this the whole time, but you know what? This motherfucker didn't say any of this until Trump got in office. As soon as Trump took the platform, now this dude got a whole lot of shit to say. You know what I mean? Right. But it's like, you ain't say shit in the last 30 years, bro.
I do.
But this how you really
I
feeling.
could have went to jail last night. I could have went to jail over something at the grocery store last night.
You going to? They never worth going to jail for unless somebody put their hands on you.
Nah.
Hey, what you guys what happened?
So we at this grocery store. It's not in a black neighborhood, but we at the grocery store. I was trying to find her car so she can pay for the groceries. And then all of a sudden, this lady just started acting mean and shit. And not really.
Wow. Should have kicked her in the dick.
I went over there and took off because my grandma knew. She said, she was talking to her friend. She was like, oh boy, let's hurry up and get out of here because I know she mad. I know why she over there in that corner.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, though? That's what they be wanting to do.
Right. They want to upset you.
Yeah, exactly. So you can never let, You can never let anybody, no matter what color they are, get you to a point like where words is gonna let you step out of your even if your character is knock somebody head off. You always got to let that other person make the first move. Then you got free reign to do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I know that. I was just saying, I just had to go cool off for a moment, you know.
Nah, that's good. Right there. That's good. Yeah, that you did do that. Because somebody else would have just wilded out and then spent the whole night in jail. You know what I mean? Like,
shit, because there's a couple people I wish put their hands on me one time. Just touch me. Hit me with your best shot too.
Exactly. Like you say whatever, but I just want you to touch me.
Give you that 2-piece and the hook behind it. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I get that shit all the time being here at work. So
word.
And I ain't up. Hell yeah. Especially in adult population being that I work at GW. Like them motherfuckers be on it. They be campaigning. And I laughed at a couple of people like, if you want to follow me that bad, get out to my car and I got something for you.
Right.
It ain't shit in my car. So you can fuck around and act shook if you want now because I told you that. I ain't scared of nobody else.
Right. I just told one kid at my job a few years back.
And I ain't here, so be it.
My UPS days, I had to choke a dude on the truck talking crazy.
Damn. What the hell
I ran right in the truck behind that motherfucker and yoked his ass up on the shelf.
Yeah.
Got the message.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I was crazy back then, man. I just grab a motherfucker. Like, what?
I had this one kid that was working for me a couple years ago. He said, "Man, I got heat in the trunk for people like you." I said, "Look, man, let me tell you something. Now that you done told me that, you ever say you ain't gonna make it to that trunk?
Right? Yeah. You know that exactly, nigga. You gonna make it anywhere else but the trunk?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make it to that trunk because I know if you make it to that trunk, I might not be here. So let you know. Thanks for letting me know that.
Gonna get touched.
The one thing though that I think some people do get misconstrued. Like one of my favorite sayings is, "You can't always bet on black." Right?
True.
That goes for any race. Just because someone looks like you doesn't mean that they got your best interest. That goes for Latinos. That goes for whites. That goes for Asians. Because usually it's a motherfucker that look like you that's gonna stab you in the back.
That's gonna fuck you over.
What race you are?
How come? Yeah, they gonna be. It's the comfort level.
And a lot of times it's family.
Yeah,
that's the part of getting duped though. Yeah,
somebody the main motherfuckers I don't trust is my family members.
But people can't trust you that ain't close to you or don't feel close to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't fuck with you. Somebody got to gain your trust first to even go that way. If you just had somebody walk up off the street, we'll look at them like, man, that shit you selling, go ahead and keep stepping. But somebody that know a little bit or whatever, or want to kind of pull at your heartstrings or whatever it is, or just get your interest because you're a nosy motherfucker, then there you go. You know what I'm saying? But,
yeah, man. Yep.
That is true.
Because there's some family members that can't come in my house, man. There's some shiesty ass, you got to keep your wallet on you type family members. You can't stay here. I got to keep the wallet on me.
You doing that, you ain't coming
through.
Yeah.
I got family members like that too. My daddy died, and his first thing, one of my family members called the bank. See how much my daddy had in the bank type shit.
See?
They freeze the account up. My mom couldn't get anything out of it because my dad was the finance dude.
Right.
So we basically all his direct deposits and all his, luckily he had all the bills coming out automatically. So I get, that's back when I was drinking. I get drunk the night before the funeral and I went the fuck off, man. I'm throwing uncles in the bushes and cousins. They had about 6 of them on me.
Damn.
I ended up staining my ankle. Is that my wife now? She wasn't my wife at the time. She was down there like, you great. Like, our marriage was in jeopardy and shit. Like, it's because they showed another side. But you know what? That's my dad. And, your family that you think's are supposed to have your back and support you, stab you in the back. That fucking hurts, man. Your own family, man. Like, you can't trust your own family. Who the fuck can you trust, man?
Right.
Sad.
I'm kind of going through something.
Every
like
family
that.
got some niggas in it, man. Don't sleep.
What you saying, Mr. Sickle?
I'm kind of going through something like that right now. To make the long story short, I messed around with the wrong woman back in LA when I lived out there a couple of years back. Almost got married with her, so I bit the bullet. But we broke up the third time finally. And between the second breakup and the third breakup, she started talking to my uncle in Brooklyn. It got so creepy that after the breakup, she started squatting with my uncle and my aunt in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, trying to get close to everybody, all my exes. Like, she's like infiltrating. She's like a virus, bro.
Wow.
So I'm kind of going through that too, man. I had to cut my family members off. Now, my homie from LA just finished telling me that my ex is hanging out with my other ex, and they're like best friends for some reason. And it's just weird because the only way they can get in contact with each other is if she really did her research.
Right. Yeah. So, right.
People like that too. I never got that. Like, you know, that's
she a succubus.
Right.
Oh, well, that's trying to hurt you on the on the humble. That's all that is. I'm gonna hit you in the heart because you stepped away and didn't care. So I got to do something subversive to hurt.
Oh, she was a sociopath, man. Like she would always trying to be like hurt too much. Word. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And I had to walk away.
Perfect word. Sociopath.
Yes, I'm trying to stick you shit. Like, I'm gonna hurt you close. Because if it was some other dude who wouldn't hurt, don't only do family. So I know that to get to him.
Word up, vindictive.
Oh man,
vindictive as hell. Right.
The shit I went through, man. I'm gonna have to do a podcast for that, man. And when I do, I'm gonna send y'all the link.
Hey, yo, tell us a little bit about your podcast, man. We got you here.
All right. Well, this is not to intrude or anything, but I have a radio show called The Business. On 24/7 Hip Hop Radio, ran with my counterparts Bugs That Dude and Chris aka Tech Teasy. My show is basically unsigned hype coast to coast.
Word.
I dig. I act like my own A&R. So when you listen to my show, it's basically like I'm bringing you the talent, you know. So it's kind of like a Hollywood template that I run.
Okay, word, yeah.
Where do you get material from as far as the unsigned hype?
Well, either I have people, you know, I post up on certain groups like, hey, you know, I run this, send me your links, and then I kind of like see what's hot and what's not. Or I also do my research.
Yeah, look no further, man. Well, you got see that one? But you see that one on the far left? And then man, all of these dudes. Shit.
Oh man, I would love to have all you guys on my show.
On the far left.
Man.
Most definitely.
From everywhere, I mean.
So it's a whole panel, a bunch of artists, man.
Yeah, word up. Hell, except for me, I'm just a spectator.
And I also make it too.
Shut up, white.
The guy that does the intro is a spectator, right?
I'm definitely familiar with
that hot ass beat. Yeah.
Thank you.
That actually would be his theme song.
What day is your podcast show? What day you do the podcast?
Well, I'm sorry. With the days that I do my podcast, it would be on Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time.
Okay.
And sometimes I go rogue and I'll do like maybe Fridays, or you know, but definitely Saturdays at noon.
Man, Saturdays used to be great. You know, Saturdays are a great day to do that. Everyone's off, and they. So how do we get to is website or
it's 24/7 hip hop, right?
Well,
that's what's going on.
Add me on The Business, which is the name of the group. It's the THE and then business, second word BIZNESS.
You mind leaving that in the on IM?
24/7 Hip Hop Radio group.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Sure. And then other days, like when I go rogue, you're just gonna have to look for the link on those group days. Or if you add me on Facebook, you can check on the timeline. So if you miss it at noon, it's totally okay.
Right.
Because we can have the feature of playing it back again, or you can even download the show and take it on the go.
That's dope. We'll check that out. If you don't mind leaving that in the IM,
yes, sir.
My memory is shot right now. I ain't been taking my Ginkgo.
Welcome to the
what do you guys' thought? I want to ask your thoughts on the Eminem whole freestyle. Not only am I going to talk about that, but I'm hearing a lot of people have problem with Eminem doing that. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that, man?
It was mediocre.
Wrong with it. People put way too much stock into everything, and then at the same time, people don't put enough stock into some shit. Now, regardless if you think Eminem is doing this shit because he got an album coming out, or I seen somebody dig up the old shit from like 1991 when he was talking about black chicks. Shit, right. I was talking about black chicks. I said way more disrespectful shit than he did. But but at the same time, people like, well, you shouldn't excuse it. Okay, but at the same time, I don't want to be held accountable for all this shit I did 28 years ago either, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. Like, People grow. But regardless of however you feel about all that, Eminem is a white dude with major fucking following. From people who hate rap to people who love rap. Like Eminem just, everybody likes this motherfucker, right? So cool. No matter what your thoughts are, he used his fucking platform, or if you want to say white privilege, he used his white privilege to speak on some shit he really didn't have to. And yeah, he did say what a lot of other black people said. Who the fuck cares? He said it and a lot more people heard it now. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing about it. I do respect everybody's opinion. I don't care. You can feel a certain way. But if you just look at it on the basis of what it is, fuck your feelings. He said what needed to be said, and a lot more people. Because a lot of white people got mad because he spoke out against Trump, that means even more people are going to hear it because these same motherfuckers that fuck Eminem is reposting the video.
That's true.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't even. I ain't see nothing wrong with it.
But I do, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen, and I know Wallace feels a certain way, and I seen a lot of people I respect feel a certain way, and I'm cool with that. Like, because, you know, I think everybody should feel how they feel. We all men and women, fuck it. But that's just my opinion, and I don't have a problem with anyone who thinks like that. But I just think, let's just look at it for what it is. Fuck it. He used that white privilege, that platform to say some shit that, yes, it has been said, but now even more people will hear it, whether they loved it or hated it.
I personally in the cards, I tell you that.
I personally love the message. As a person who is rooting for black people to stop being treated like second-class citizens, I commend Eminem for using his white privilege for the platform, for the message that he brought. But as an MC, it could have been, I mean, all those pauses, no good. You know, it just demeans the message.
To me,
and then he even messed up, which is giving it a little bit of authenticity in a case. But I mean, I just wanted him to come a little bit harder, because just to shut up all these dust mites that want to go and nitpick on the message. Just like these dust mites that want to nitpick on the fact that, oh, the veterans, why are you disrespecting the veterans by kneeling? Like, dude, the veterans fought for you guys to kneel. The veterans fought for you guys to burn flags. I don't like when you guys burn flags on anybody, but you know what? I fought for it. I don't like when the KKK goes on their rally. I don't like it at all. But as an American, I fought for that. That's the part of the American experience. So it's these dust mites, and I like to call them that. They like to address people away from the message. And I still feel like, even though Eminem brought the message that everybody was talking about, I do feel that if he didn't come harder, these dust mites are going to come out and undermine what he said anyway. That's why I said it's mediocre.
We said, Wallace?
I was just going to say that, I mean, just consider, when you look at Harvey Weinstein, when you look at the Dick Dick, when you look at, you know, there's, fame is, people say fame is fleeting, and that nobody is invincible. But the one thing I can take away from it is he was willing to take the risk. He knows his fan base.
Right.
He knows who his fan base is. He was willing to take the risk, I mean, in the rhyme, and say, you know, if you fuck with me and you don't agree with me, leave me alone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's at a level where he can, you know, he's somewhat impenetrable to a point where, you know, the money is there, the residuals is there, the family is taken care of, the legacy.
Shade 4-5 ain't going nowhere no time soon.
But he didn't have to. He didn't have to take that. I mean, it was risky for him.
Yep.
It was risky for him still, you know, because he knows his demographic. So, I mean, I didn't really care from a technical standpoint. And I think personally, Eminem is the best technical MC to me of all time, and I can say that with confidence in terms of writing a rhyme that is cohesive and being able to, you know, to literally rhyme his ass off with no bias at all because of where he's from. But at the end of the day, he took a major risk, and I respect that.
Right.
Word.
Blue Pineapples.
I agree.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
I wanted to add something real quick. I noticed that everybody's been saying with this, you know, they didn't care for the performance and his bars and this and that. I think one of the bigger problems within, you know, the hip hop community, and why we see things as so disposable, now, and we really don't lock into what's being said like we did in the 60s and 70s with the messages and things like that, is for that reason. Like, we already know that Eminem had skill, but I think the reason that he chose, because he didn't get to this level by just doing things by the seat of his pants. So he knew he had a purpose in mind, which I think the way that he delivered the message, it was more so, don't worry about my skill, don't worry about this. Those pauses were for effect. Focus on what I'm saying and hopefully be a part of the solution instead of continuing to be part of the problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we start looking at music through the lens of, you know, the art more so from a consumer standpoint. I think a lot more things have changed because people will be compelled to act on stuff more often instead of the inner critic comes out, well, hey, that's not their best work. It's like at the end of the day, folks are doing things to make whatever their point is. They're doing it to make a stand, no matter how witty or whatever. You're trying to bring somebody into your world. So at that point, that's how Eminem felt. It's, you know, I mean, we just said it on this panel. That's the way a lot of people feel. But I mean, what, like, how can you quote unquote say something harder than that when it's just that's the bare bones truth?
That's
Sometimes
true.
the truth is simple and it ain't complicated for you to be like, ooh, he told the truth like that. And you're like, fuck it, he just told the truth.
So, like even the part where it looked like he fucked up. I don't think he fucked up. I think that
was just emotion running, I think.
No, I think that was part of the plan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like when certain battle rappers act like they fell off and they be like, you thought, you know what I mean? Like, no, that's just another thing to pull you in because they're like, yo, Eminem just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you really listening to see what he about to say. Like, well, okay, what was he about to get into? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I thought that whole shit was calculated, and I felt it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask y'all this. Do you know? I know a lot of people that don't like Eminem, but I've never. I think Eminem represents I think he represents the culture pretty damn good. I don't ever see him in any. He's not suspect. Where he grew up and everything. I think Eminem. I think him doing that is more of a out of boy than his whole bar and makeup. But him doing it, period, was, I think they didn't see that shit coming. This is the last thing they thought they would see coming. So yeah, that wasn't in the plans. And like I said, there's a lot of people that wanted to say that, but Eminem did it. I don't think the man, he has an album coming out, but I don't think he cares too much about what he's already been cementing his legacy anyway. So
I agree. And I think we get so comfortable. We get so comfortable in our ability to criticize things. I think Black Mav is absolutely correct in terms of we miss experiences and we miss content and we miss a lot of things just because we accept in our minds subconsciously that hip hop is so disposable and anybody can do it. We probably know more rappers. We know more rappers than we know fans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it probably was completely strategic on his part to do it the way he did it. But at the end of the day, I think it exposed, like what he said, I think it exposes a deeper issue in terms of, like everybody know I'm a big fan of To Pimp a Butterfly. And I think that some people, if you don't like Kendrick or if you don't like his delivery or whatever, I think you miss how crazy that project was and how many different things it encompassed. Now I like him, but I see how people will dismiss things simply because they think that they potentially could have done something better.
Yeah, or it wasn't quite what they were looking for.
Right.
Or it doesn't fit their preferences, right?
This is like some unheard of shit, man. I mean, we have never been in this amount of time. This man has been, and let's don't get it twisted. He is the source of a lot of the shit going on. The police brutality shit's been going on for a while, but
you talking about Trump?
Yeah, a lot. This short amount of time, I've never lived. This is some new shit going on. People are opening their mouth and they're doing it. They're doing it non-violently, man. They're using their brain. So kudos people out there that's standing up and not afraid of the
bullshit.
Yeah. So it's a good thing. I think we're on to something, and this is not the last time that, there's going to be some more shit. I'm tired of fucking being, I get pulled over a few weeks ago. I'm scared. I'm thinking, man, I could possibly get shot here. So that's not right.
When I got pulled over in Texas,
Wow.
Same shit. I got pulled over in Pasadena, suburb of Houston.
You know what's funny, though?
Same shit.
The way we all feel about certain white police officers, whatever. I be feeling like that.
It was just police, period.
That's
that was my thing. It wasn't even that it was a white dude that pulled me over. My whole thing was I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hit me off the technicality with the bullshit.
I was gonna say, because that's how I be feeling when I'm back home in Philly, because all Philly cops is all black, and them niggas dickheads.
Press you out,
Look, they might take whatever you got in your pocket and then let you escape. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I just got robbed by the cops.
Officer O'Malley, huh?
Yeah, but the nigga be looking, dark as me, like, damn.
Right.
No discrimination in police brutality. There's no discrimination with that. Like, the black ones just, not worse.
Gregory Abbott, shake you down and shit.
Word, but real quick, speaking of the Eminem cipher joint, did y'all actually see the rest of the Shady cipher?
I didn't watch the awards show.
No, me neither. But internet, man, I only watch the ciphers. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the cipher was because Eminem went last, but it was fucking Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, and then Boogie. Like, anybody familiar with Boogie?
West Side Gun.
Yeah, West Side Gun. He was just talking. He introduced Benny and Conway. You know what I'm saying? But and then so Boogie is from LA somewhere. I forget exactly where. I want to say like Compton or something, but the nigga's nasty. Like, really dope.
I had his stuff on my show.
Yeah, Boogie's dope. So for some reason, I think when the shit aired on TV, I guess they only played the Eminem from what I can gather off the internet. But if y'all actually search the Shady Cypher, that shit was dope, man. The whole shit was crazy. Conway went the fuck off.
I seen that Griselda one just recently. I think today.
Griselda
did something. I do. It was a cipher. Looked like
that was where they was in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
That's the shit I'm talking about, because they all signed the Shady. Yeah, they all signed the Shady.
I love a West Coast rapper with bars, bro. I mean, that's I was on that game documentary hard. I think he did that was a dope ass album. So I love a West Coast cat with bars, bro.
All right, so if you like a West Coast cat with bars, and I know Wallace already down with this dude, because we both had the Rosecrans album, but the nigga Problem is a beast. Problem is a problem, yo. That is my guy right there.
I'm gonna have to check him out.
Get that get the joint he got with DJ Quick called Rosecrans.
Rosecrans? Okay.
Yeah, get that. That's the shit. But get the one with the red cover though, because there's two versions. The one with the red cover is the extended version with more songs.
Okay.
Bananas. Start to finish. Him and DJ Quick is a ridiculous combination, man. He had Quick sounding like it was 1993. Crazy, man. He brought back DJ Quick with the curl, yo. And I think Quick did all the beats, and the beats is bananas.
Wow.
Where the hell Wallace at? Because I know Wallace will speak to that.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I mean, it's definitely quality. You definitely need to hear that.
Yeah, that Rosecrans is crazy, man.
Yeah. Not to change the subject or anything, but I wanted to ask you guys a question real quick. It's kind of related to my show. How do you feel about hip hop purists?
Well, most of us are, so
yeah, but I mean, the ones that basically for instance, my city, and there was a time in our history, in our hip hop history, where we were the biggest xenophobes anywhere. We didn't want nothing to do with anywhere else but New York.
New York, yeah.
And then the West Coast came out, and the West Coast was like, hold on a second. That brought in gangsta rap. So what I'm saying is, now you fast forward into 2017 with this whole trap stuff, and now you have different levels of trap. Then you got this like triple extension cord type stuff that's emo, and then you have like this like Muppet Baby like turn up stuff like Playboy Cardi. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny because like I used to be a hip hop purist, until I wised up and said, you know what? You're old now. You got to give these new cats shine. You know, you got to let them, you know, take the wheel. You can't just be taking the wheel till you're like 90 years old.
Well, let me say this.
I have the perfect way to encapsulate everything that you're saying. If hip hop was politics, hip hop purists would be conservative.
Oh yes, agreed. And that's the reason why I was getting to, like, these hip hop purists that I talk to. You know, I try to explain them in my show, and they're like, "Why don't you play boom bap?" And I was like, "I do play boom bap, but the show's not about boom bap. The world is not about boom bap. You go into Mississippi, or even where I'm at in Arkansas, spit no boom bap. It's all trap. It's just the region that you're in. So these guys are arguing me left and right, and in my head, man, they're starting to look like these dudes in Charlottesville with the J. Crew shirts and the tiki torches." They really are, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's like, it's ridiculous. Like, all right, we get it. Nas ain't hot no more, but he's still Nas hot in our hearts.
Let me say this.
Yes,
I'm with Eric. I'm with Eric Sermon with the whole. We can't call that hip hop, man. And
no, I agree. It's trap.
It's got to have its own, because it's not fall underneath the guidelines for it to be hip hop with lyrics, the graffiti art, and with all the other stuff associated that we know the hip hop to be. So call it something else. Disco had a lane. It was called that, and I think maybe we start looking at it on those lines. I think it will still have room for
you know what else is the fact that, look at what happened to disco. Disco got overly saturated, and this is before internet, before anything like that, before social media, and it got really, really saturated. Like, you had Rick Dees with Disco Duck. I mean, like, all of a sudden you had Star Wars.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, man. Do you feel like a lot of this trap stuff is saturated? Do you feel like it's repetitive?
It's getting there. It's getting there. It's kind of like, all right, if trap was 80s hair bands, we're like at Cream's White, and Guns N' Roses already kind of dwindling, and here comes Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? So we're like getting to a point where it's like it's getting irrelevant. Like, once you start seeing it in commercials and seeing it everywhere, it's going to cease off. But I'm going to tell you this, gentlemen, it's not going to die. It's going to go somewhere in the United States. It's going to incubate, and it's going to turn into a different genre, just the way like disco did house music.
Listen, consider this. Trap is not a trend.
Yes, it's not.
I look at the seminal moment in the history of trap being, I mean, I know people talk about who created it, 3 6 Mafia and Ghetto Mafia.
I want to say
T.I. trap music and all that. But the seminal moment for trap music was Young Jeezy first album.
Yes, agreed.
Because
Snowman,
what it did was it made it palatable on a different level. That came out 12 years ago now.
Yep. I like this.
It had help with
trap has been dominating black music for 12 years. Yeah. What else has been dominating black music, or I should say hip hop? What trend in hip hop lasted 12 years? Not many. Go through the Curtis Blow stage, the Rapper's Delight, then you had Run DMC, then you had the more lyrical stuff, then you had the Afrocentrism and jazz, then you had the shiny suit era, then you had trappish, and then you had ringtone kind of rapish. Now you kind of going through this whole emo /
Actually, Roderick, I have a trend that kind of it's been off and on that lasted longer than 12 years. And this is the trend of using 808s. Now, a lot of people would like to say, oh, well, this 808 stuff is all South. It's just all whack with the 808s. But they don't realize their history in hip-hop. 808s came out in New York, homie.
LL?
Yeah.
There was 808s.
Yeah.
LL, we were bumping 808s. And Schoolie D was bumping 808s.
Knowledge means the original concept.
So the only thing is, like, when people go with that argument, I like to just smack them in the face and tell them, listen, dude, New York started the 808s.
Right.
You know, all that, the car culture and being able to listen something and booming in your system is what started it. The South perfected it.
Let me ask you this. Hey, Blue Pineapples.
Ace Machine and all that.
I need you to weigh in on those Blue Pineapples. What are your thoughts on that, brother?
Oh. Is he there?
I got something to say.
Oh, what's up, Dav? What
up, man?
Go ahead, brother.
I think the reason it's had such a long run is because everything is so fused together right now. There's no real division amongst the music, you know what I'm saying? Everything sounds alike. Everything is the same. So I think that's why it's had such a long run, because I don't know nothing. The West sound like the East sound like the North sound like the South. We don't know.
Yeah, so I remember a time growing up and you would listen to a song and be like, oh, that sounds like he's from Memphis.
Exactly.
Oh, hell yeah. The only thing I say, man, I just wish I could I wish it was more lyric based, man. That's all.
Right.
And, you know, that's all I want. I just want to understand what you're saying. You know, like I was saying today, you know, to me, the rap is a challenge to, you know, to have your flow, the words you're saying to make sense and rhyme, and to be subliminal at times. I think that's the whole challenge when it comes in to rapping.
And with some of them, just say words, period.
Yeah, like that's the whole problem I got with that.
And tones and
but you know what though? But you know what though?
Creativity in the beats too. Man.
A lot of the mumble rappers aren't aiming for us. They aiming for the niggas that's thinking like them.
Oh, you no doubt. And it's got to be a lot of that. You know, I'm sorry, the lean shit in the pill era, man. Do people still crack? I don't think people get high no more of crack, man.
Plus, you have to add in the fact
high like that.
You gotta add the fact that this generation has a short attention span. So, you know, you gotta cater to that.
Dated music's
exactly.
That's why glad to have a job. Hell,
music's not dated anymore. Like, yo, do we remember what was cracking on the radio three years ago? I mean, that shit's not. It's not memorable.
Yeah, that's irrelevant now. All that stuff that came out in 2014 is like irrelevant.
Yep.
What's not? I'm a motherfucking monster.
I'm sorry. There should be a lane for the J. Cole's of the world to be on that same plane, man.
Hey, man, J. Cole went platinum, brother. Yeah, he got his lane. You know what I'm saying?
I'm cool with that.
And he got his lane without no features and no real radio plays.
I meant embracement to be embraced on the local radio, to where you driving to work and you turn that radio on and hear them. And I'm just saying on that level now.
Widebody, you have to understand who's controlling the radio, and the people who are controlling the radio are trying to dumb down the population.
Right.
Really, an uphill battle.
Let me ask you this: if J. Cole would have been on the radio, like say one of those Young Dolph or something, he probably would have went quadruple.
But you know what though? I will say the 2 to 3 songs that J. Cole had, they played that shit a lot on the radio, bro. Like at least here in the DMV. You know what I mean? When J. Cole actually had some shit for the radio, that shit was getting played everywhere. And he was on a couple of R&B remixes, you know what I'm saying? But it was just when it came to his album, the songs I got on the radio was all him. And then everything else on the album was all him. Like, that's the difference between him going platinum and all these other dudes going platinum. These other dudes be going platinum because it's 13 of them on the track. So you got all 13 of them on the album. So all of their fan bases are converging. J. Cole did that shit with his fan base. You know what I'm saying? White, black, Indian, Asian, you know what I'm saying? Latino, like that was all J. Cole fans. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I get that dude props. Like he didn't even need Rock Nation. He signed to fucking Rock Nation and basically did everything by himself. You didn't even really see Jay-Z promoting that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he promotes other shit.
Straight up. No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not arguing your point because I do feel you. But like J. Cole is just, he's a hard subject to use just because of the level he achieved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, kind of like Kendrick. Like Kendrick only really had 2 songs like at a time that might have been on the radio. Yeah. But he was just like one of them dudes that had that cult following, because a lot of people, you know, don't even know about this the Section 80. It's actually Section 8.0, but the Section 80 album and all the other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like they don't know that J-Rock was J-Rock before actual TDE. They don't know Schoolboy Q was TDE before Kendrick. Like, you know what I'm saying? People don't even know that Schoolboy Q really didn't even like Kendrick when Kendrick first came to TDE, but then that came to be one of his best friends.
Do you remember coming up when something used to break on the radio? And, you know, like, there's be that hot shit on the radio, something that broke on the radio. Like, man, I heard my shit on the radio. It's like, God, you know, it's just, I don't know. And radios, I guess, is a bad example to use these days because radios went to shit. You know, it's just
clear
fucking.
But at the same time, I was going to say, but at the same time, though, now we don't have to rely on regular car, like radio in the car, because now we have satellite radio. Now we have these different things. So, you know, I don't even really think radio is too much of a factor anymore, because a lot of people aren't blowing up off of radio spins. They're blowing up off of these streams and, you know what I'm saying, all of this, you know, Soulja Boy really ushered in like that YouTube era for a lot of the bullshit rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really, to see a person like Soulja Boy kill the internet, that gave life to a lot of these other internet sensations before the IG. We just talking straight YouTube. That's where a lot of these clowns started from. YouTube, because they seen Soulja Boy clown at
I think imagine we had no internet and we just had the radio like back in the 80s, man. A lot of this shit would have been dead, man. So thank God for the internet age and people using it.
There would be a few people that still get through the cracks. Like, I think a nigga like Young Thug, a lot of people don't respect Boy, but he's probably the most musical out of all of the bullshit. And even every now and then, he comes with some shit where I'm like, this ain't really my lane, but I fuck with it.
Yep. Now you talking about?
So one of the last Eagles.
Right here.
They don't care about the art enough, man. You can just it's about the popular person, not the best person.
Thank you.
The best in the art. It's who's most popular, because I can't understand how Cardi B is blowing up the charts like that.
Oh man, let's talk about her. This is
garbage. Man, you know what? All right, hold on. See, now you about to hit a soft spot, man. I love me some Cardi B. Man.
You know what, man?
I bet.
I like Cardi B too.
I kind of rock with her too, man. Don't get me wrong, but it's the principalities of it, man. You shouldn't.
But you know what though? If you think about it, man, she has the same type of appeal as Young and May, right? So Young and May, this is my argument with Young and May. Young and May was dope from a female hardcore standpoint, but if you took Young and May's rhymes and put it on another nigga that claimed the street, we'd look at this nigga like, bro, you garbage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's other niggas doing the same shit that you doing and will body you bar for bar. But because Young and May had that appeal, she was dope. Now, Cardi B is similar but a little different, because people know Cardi B from not even Love and Hip Hop. Nah, from IG and, like, you know what I'm saying, booty popping and all this other shit. But people seen like her come up, you know what I'm saying? She was always a hood ass chick, you know what I'm saying? So she really hasn't stopped. So who?
My homie back home in Highbridge in the Bronx, man. When we went to, she used to strip in Sue's Rendezvous back in like 2000.
Sue's Rendezvous, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, you went back. Brought me back home.
I know I'm OG, bro. I don't look it, but
because you know what? So you know who else? And it's funny, you know who else started as a stripper, but people love her? Fucking Eve from Philly. I seen Eve personally. I seen Eve personally in the strip club.
This is like courtesy of Stacks right there, guys. If you check out the screen, that's courtesy of Stacks. Thanks, Stacks.
Thank you, Stacks.
Hold up.
Damn.
Put that back up. Let me see. There we go. There we
What's
go.
going on?
Yeah, exactly. See?
I'm all day, all night. Let me ask you, why does nobody like Azalea Banks, man? What is it with her? Why is no one liking her?
She hurts her own self. Nobody likes her because of her. No one has done anything to her. She has killed her own self.
I agree.
Many a time.
She could have been on top.
About to say, for some people, she's still paying.
Right.
That was fucked up. My bad.
Because you know what? She makes pretty good music, and she could be one of the top female MCs if she just shut the fuck up and stay out of her own way. But she burns every bridge before she even gets a chance to cross that motherfucker.
They don't even want her in London.
That's her problem.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. She's caused so many problems, like no one wants to be around her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's all her.
Australia. Mental illness.
Yeah, exactly, man. She really, I
definitely
think she really does have a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Gadget was like, yeah, there's like 6 naked pictures of Azalea on.
They're terrible. They are.
no one said
nobody sees them. Please, nobody ever click on that link. If you come across
Are
that
you
link,
serious?
keep that shit moving, bro. Do not click on that link.
Looking like schoolgirl cute.
There.
Yeah, I made the mistake, yo. I made the mistake, and oh my goodness, I wish I could get the moment.
My laptop gonna get lice after that.
Oh my goodness, man.
Sex don't always sell. I tell you that. Skin don't always sell.
And for her,
Somebody
to criticize other females about doing that type shit, she gonna get butt ass naked, and that shit was terrible.
Hey, let me give the whole award out to my man 21 Savage there for I'm a old too. We talk about hey y'all. Props
That
to the
sign
Philly
was
chicks.
a trip.
Hey, props to the Philly chicks. Y'all handle y'all business out there, getting them men, and see the softer side. You know what I mean? Salute. You know what I'm saying? I've always heard about the Philly chicks, man. I had to see it for myself, man.
What happened?
Man, old girl was doing Amber Rose was doing her annual slut walk, John. Fucking 21 Savage is holding up a sign. I'm a hoe too. with the little ass shorts on.
It said, your boy, I checked out Dilly the Kid. He said, don't you ever talk no street talk ever again. You are not allowed. Like,
yo, that shit was funny. Gilly is a clown, yo. He funny as shit.
But this dude has this street persona now. I can't look at this man in a different way now because you're 21.
But you know what's funny though? We all do change around our chicks though. But for this nigga to always talk some killer shit and this, that, and the third,
right?
He did an interview and they was like, yeah, man. So what his Amber Rose showed you like relationship wise? This nigga said, man, she be teaching me shit like how to drink water and take vitamins.
Oh man. Come on, man.
How to drink water and take vitamins.
Hey yo. So,
cucumber salad with the crust cut off.
Hell yeah.
He did a response video, so he talking like, yeah, I don't appreciate every. So when he was talking, he kept on cutting and looking at Amber like, am I saying the right shit?
Yo,
yeah, and I'm not gonna be tolerated. And y'all some hoes and y'all some pussies and whatever. He put the Amber again. Is that cool? I said that.
That shit was funny, man. Yeah,
man, that's funny.
Big compared to him.
Y'all like being called a hoe though.
You said
Forever 21 Savage.
Yeah, you should have stayed out that slut walk. You're like, baby, baby, that's your thing, man. I'll watch and shit. I ain't gonna be holding no whole sign wearing some goddamn bloomers.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Wow. This goes to show you, man. All what we see, ain't what we think it is.
Exactly.
This dude, that should have been in his repertoire, man. Even like, me better than Amber. I can't. I ain't. I support you, but. What you asking me to do right there? You see it?
Hold up. I need to see this shit now.
All right. Put that link in there.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. Say that link, dog.
Come on, man. You got to have some pride, man.
Word. Like,
who does that?
I'm ready to laugh. Hold up.
Come on, Stack.
You already know.
Like nigga, next time you gonna hold that sign, you better hold the gun in your other hand. Like, let niggas know you still hard. Like,
what's his name?
And what he clowning Young Jock for wearing a dress?
Here we go.
Yeah,
exactly. He sure the hell did. Okay, I'm about to show you guys.
At least Young Jock got paid according to him.
Wow.
I forgot all about Young Jock.
I'm just
Savage is 21 Savage.
21 Savage.
Forever
21.
See, and that's why your life has to have some lines. There need to be some shit you won't do.
Yo, look at Wide Body Screen.
Look at some shit you ain't gonna do to make it, man.
Look at Amber Rose. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I want some milk all of a sudden.
I'm a hoe too.
She got the Captain Save a whole side.
Lord.
But the crazy thing is, he'd have been better off being the captain. Why you gotta be?
They should be
word.
Could have wild with that a little bit. I don't think
does a body good.
Nah, I'm just saying. I mean, you better off as the captain because at least you considered the nice guy, but you still a guy.
Yeah,
right.
Nah,
you a hoe too.
We had to switch signs real quick.
This nigga on the receiving end like shit.
Your life needs to have some lines, man. There need to be some shit you won't do to get ahead. I mean, and I think that's blurring today, man. Some people. I mean, look at rap. Look at rap game. All this going upstairs.
Change clothes and go.
Is her garden that good? I mean, I don't. You know what I mean?
There.
About to say
shit.
That garden shit. He must have been planting vegetables in that mud.
But look at him though. I mean, he never had it that good. Look at him.
He will never have another chick as bad as Amber.
Squash.
Good, right? He ain't had it that good.
And you know what? This nigga better give thanks to Wiz Khalifa, man. Wiz Khalifa, you know what I mean? Boy, to set it off for the skinny niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he probably lick her feet, man. I mean, he probably so happy to be with her.
I'm gonna lick your feet.
Word, like, you know what I mean?
That, man.
Look at him. I mean, really, look at him, man. Come on, man.
Look, even savages got to count their blessings.
Come on, son.
He said, I had a good ass time at Slut Walk. Fuck all that. I had a good ass time at Slut Walk.
Word,
Slut Walk?
Yeah, that's her annual joint.
It must be the money. I mean, because
you know what? So is she?
Ain't nobody snatched that good, man.
But you know what? Nah, she using the term slut the way like we claim that niggas have taken the nigga word back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people be trying to be like, nah, you can't do that. You can't compare. Well, I've never been a female. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what chicks go through when they wear tight skirts and they walk down the block, niggas whistling, hollering, grabbing their ass. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I can't really speak to that.
Calling shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or, when like, oh, well, she was wearing something small and she asked for it. No, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Cool. She fucked 4 dudes. That doesn't make her a slut. She might have fucked 4 dudes in 3 years. Like, now she a hoe. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can't speak to that. You know what I mean? But I can speak to being a nigga. So it might not relate on certain levels, but I'm sure it relates.
Relatable.
Right. But you can see, look at his face. He look like, man, I'm gonna get some shit for this one, man.
Oh,
he don't look happy.
He don't. He just forced.
He never look happy though. So you know what I mean? Like, if you ever see 21 Savage, I don't know if
given the career, I understand.
What'd you say, Mr.
Mercy?
What's funny is the fact that they should have switched the signs, but he's the one that got the whole sign.
Yeah, that was.
Yep, that's what Bad was saying.
That's why I did. That's my thing. Like, I don't think they meant to switch the signs. Like, he the sign he needed to hold. It's kind of fucked up.
Because there is a picture of him in the back of a golf cart with Amber Rose, and he has the Captain Save-A-Ho sign on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a picture out on the internet with that.
So she just like, I think she just like.
But aside all that, I wanted also to bring to your attention, Widebody. Well, since Vegas, they were trying to go after our guns.
Yeah.
The next false flag, they're gonna go after us. And they're gonna go after everyone on the internet spreading the real. So the next one, Peep Game, they're gonna try to do stuff with the internet. They're gonna try to start an Orwellian type of kill switch. Yeah, so like Peep Game, man, and plus on top of that, all these patsies, man, like they all have mental illnesses, and not one of them want to bring and address that all these shooters have one thing in common. They were all on big pharma drugs. We're all on medication, and 9 times out of 10, that's always a smoking gun to people who are being manipulated by MK Ultra.
Oh yeah, I've heard the MK Ultra.
Just Peep Game on that.
That's been going back since the '60s. MK Ultra, man, with the whole Jonestown thing, and it was saying that was a whole MK Ultra.
I'll tell you this. Now, Ari, I know you're a serviceman yourself, so I wonder if you understand about malaria pills, the mefloquine and the malarium that they gave us. Me being a Marine, I went to the west coast of Africa in '97 during Sierra Leone and Zaire.
Bro, I had
gave us these pills
in 2007.
Ooh. Yeah, so you know about the nightmares you get after you take one of those pills and the sleepwalking.
I've told a couple of stories about the wild ass nightmares, bro. Like waking up in fucking Africa, like, you know what I'm saying? Really thinking somebody about to do me harm, or just waking up cold sweats and shit, like shook. Yeah, man, that shit real.
That's why.
Yeah, so what I'm
malaria shit ain't no joke.
Yeah, they give this small version of like this MK Ultra to the troops as malaria pills, but they go deeper with like the CIA and everything. They go deeper with it. as far as MK Ultra. Look at Google the Mickey Mouse Club. All these people have gone through MK Ultra. They all have gone through child abuse, all of that stuff, and it's really real. Operation Monarch is real.
Operation Monarch. Look up on that.
Malaria pills, man. Like, you can take the weekly joints, or you can take the ones you got to do every day. They both give you nightmares, but the everyday shit, that shit like gives you terrifying nightmares.
I remember
the night terrors. Yep. You wake up swinging. I woke up. I had my ex-girlfriend. I had her in a chokehold. Like,
damn.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, that broke up my relationship. I was just fresh out.
You know me about it. Hey, let me ask you a question. How many shots you get? Flu shots.
Got that feedback. You got to turn that.
None.
Turn your volume.
Somebody.
When I went in, when I went to basic, I got a flu. I got like 6 shots. They shot me in the arm, each arm 3 times. Like, what the fuck is all this? You know, they
got that motherfucking whooping cough, brother.
They're giving you the flu.
I stopped getting shots in the military, man, and almost got in trouble for it. They wanted to give us anthrax at one point.
Oh,
and,
I ain't taking
they was threatening. They were threatening to kick you out. They were threatening to kick you out if you didn't take it. So I fought it, right? But my mind was working. I'm like, yo, so if everybody starts to say, nah, we don't want this anthrax, they're going to try and give it to us some way, shape, or form. So I stopped getting all them fucking shots they was giving out. Like,
me too.
I don't need no flu shot. I'm cool. You know what I mean? I don't get them now. Like, I haven't gotten the flu shot in probably the last fucking, what's my son, 16? Probably 15 years.
Man, seeing me? I stopped. I don't get no flu shots, man. I when I got those shots, I had such a bad, like, my body felt like it didn't feel right. And I know my body, man. I've been in this body for a long time. I know when something's going on.
When the last time you had a tetanus shot?
I got a tetanus shot in maybe 2013 because I cut my shit myself real bad on like a sticking out screw.
Bro, I haven't had a tetanus shot in 10 years.
Damn.
Okay.
2007 was my last tetanus shot. Now, you know, when we was growing up, you supposed to get them like every 5 years or so, right? But you know what I'm saying? I haven't got one in 10 years. I haven't gotten any illnesses or anything either. You know what I mean? Like, I've cut myself on plenty of shit.
Yep. I think what Sigga was saying, man, like, you know, you see all these maniacs and shit that's coming out the woodworks. Do we have maniacs like this?
We did.
Type shit?
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all of these resources and shit, but we had them.
And a lot of times they break news because the internet breaks it, so they got to
exactly. So they got to speak on
it. With the Joneses.
And Sickle, are you talking?
Well, that's where they get a lot of their sources from now too. Like, I didn't heard them get that shit live.
Oh no! I was gonna say the MK Ultra, wasn't James Thornton involved in that when they were doing the LSD testing? The guy that was on 60 Minutes back in the day.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It started. It kind of branched out from the LSD experiments, and they found that they can control people through a certain way of hypnosis. And
they still use LSD.
They slipped it to him, you know, while he was over in, I think, Germany or somewhere, and he was having flashbacks and stuff. Ridiculous.
Wow. Let's go back to the Tuskegee experiment. Isn't that kind of linked?
Oh yeah, man, they were killing. Man, that's a
fucked up. Excuse my language. Fucked up.
Fucked up. Real.
You know about the Tuskegee experiment, Blessed Girl?
Do I know about the Tuskegee experiment? You said?
Yeah.
What you say?
Have you ever heard about the Tuskegee? I can't say the word right.
Tuskegee
experiment.
Yeah, I know about it.
Here we go. Yeah, it's got the store on it now. Yeah, he won an award from the military, but he sued the army over that. Yeah.
They made a dope ass movie off of that called the Tuskegee Experiment.
Word up.
Yeah.
Flu shots though. I did want to get one this year, but
you don't need them.
I had to get it. I know, but I took it. I think that's the last time because they tell me I have to take it because I got a low immune system.
Okay.
They say I got to get the shit because of the environment I work in.
Well, I mean,
I really don't want to take it.
These motherfuckers be coming here with pudding coming out their nose.
Hey, you guys are vitamins. I used to be really into vitamins, man. I used to be in all kind of vitamins, and I used to be told vitamins are like the key. Fuck all these prescriptions. The vitamins are the key to certain thing and protecting your immune system. I'm always about
really in your diet really, but
yes.
half of this shit you don't even know where the fuck to buy it from.
Yeah, right.
Burn up. Yep.
So I'm in the vitamins and shit, man.
Shit. I need to get that list.
Yeah.
I'm in the vitamins and shit, and like y'all can pause this shit as many times as you can, but I can't swallow big ass capsules and none of that shit. Like a lot of the, like
that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit, like my throat. You know what I mean? Like I just can't take that shit, no matter how much water, or whatever. A lot of times, 5 minutes later, like I'm burping or something, and the shit's like feels like it's just lodged in my fucking chest. You know what I mean?
It don't come back up.
Yeah. Well, like I can't get down with that shit. Damn. And then I'm not like. See, so I was about to say that. So if you want to do real multivitamins, you can't just take one vitamin with 30,000 things in it. You got to take like 9 to 20 different pills. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
yeah. Yeah, like if you want the real multivitamins.
If I wasn't I'm a lactose intolerant. I know Slim Fast. We used to be on that Slim Fast shit back in the day because it had so many fucking vitamins in it. And like you said, you're just trying to get you want that one thing that's going to give you the vitamins you need. I'm looking for vitamin A for my bone, or vitamin D for my bones, vitamin E for my skin, potassium, cramping up and shit like that. And man, you take all them shits, all them damn pills, man. I still got them. Hold on.
Piss half the shit out.
Right.
Whatever your body don't need, you excrete anyway. So
especially because of the amount of water you got to drink to get all the damn pills down.
And they don't make none of this shit to cure you.
When I first had my transplant,
there's no money in the cure. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. They're gonna treat you forever.
Shit was on 60 Minutes tonight.
Treat your ass on the ground.
What were you saying that, Blessed?
What's up?
Blessed girl.
I said after I had my I was taking 20 pills. It's cut down a lot now, but
God damn.
Crazy. Man.
You need one of them big ass pill reminders.
Right?
I don't have a problem with taking my pills, but I have a cousin that's like that. Like she cannot swallow.
Yeah,
some of that shit you gotta
man.
take it that way because it's a time release. So you
exactly.
can't break it up. Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like they say anyway, if you taking medication the way to work effectively, you got to take it like the same time every day and the same time for it to be effective. And I'm no pharmaceutical genius, or I don't know.
We can get a lot of that stuff through different things that we eat, but sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes, though, the sheer amount of things that you need to eat doesn't equal up to what you could get if you just took, the multivitamins.
Right,
So, that's one of the main things. So if you can kind of find a balance between, getting the right green vegetables and eating bananas for, like, I'm allergic to bananas, so I can't eat bananas for potassium. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I got to get that type of shit.
Some orange juice to that, but, to that extent, your motherfucking teeth will fall straight out your shit.
Yeah, exactly,
as much as you need,
all that citrus will burn your shit right off.
Citrus is not cool, brother. I used to think orange juice was a key.
Motherfucker on the corner,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Same
thing. Same thing with like as far as like your teeth and shit go, man. Like y'all know I drink beer. You know what I'm saying? So at night, definitely when I'm done drinking the beer, whatever, I immediately brush my teeth because you let that shit sit on your teeth overnight or whatever, man. That shit start to, what I mean, wear all your fucking enamel down and all of that shit.
You see them winos like that with their teeth all brown and shit. That's from that.
Yeah, so I started switching up like toothpaste and all that. Like you can't just be using like the regular Crest and Colgate and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I get the good shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, I gotta spend a little money. You know what I mean? Like let me get this
If
whatever.
you look on the if you look on the back of the toothpaste, it'll have a color. They usually have a color. Those colors mean stuff.
Yeah. I got the color guide on my phone and shit.
Don't get that motherfucker black. That's all I know.
No, exactly.
Putting motherfucking Fix-A-Flat on your teeth and shit, fucking around.
Word. Now, what you gonna say, Widebody?
Oh shit! I was gonna say shit.
Right on.
I was gonna say, well, that's gonna be the show, but that's something else I was gonna say. I forgot.
Senior moment.
Oh yeah. I've used baking soda, man, because I used to get scared of fluoride and shit. And I've heard people actually go in about fluoride. I'm like, man, you about to, like, you Don't do it. You can't. Fluoride is you're not supposed to be ingesting fluoride, and that's bad for you. And you know they got certain type of shit. I do baking soda and shit. Peroxide. I'm a big guy on peroxide too. I always gargle with that shit.
Yeah, you know what, the fluoride thing, man, you know, you can get fluoride from fucking tap water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They put a certain amount in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I used to get it all the time, you know, at the dentist. Now I might get it like once every couple of years, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it is what it is. Like, you're going to get it one way or the other, as long as you're not, you know, overdosing on this shit. You know,
that's what anything.
Here's another tidbit for y'all, for a next show. But I always exercise the Freedom of Information Act all the time, as much as I can. When I went to California, I lived in Long Beach as my first location, and there was something weird about the water. So the first thing I did after the Freedom of Information Act was started, I went and I asked for the contents in the water, and there was 2% uranium.
Damn.
0.002. Yeah.
Fucking Homer Simpson stick.
Yeah. So I urge everyone to check out their water supplies and see what's in it.
And not even that. I mean, just with, you know, the pharmaceutical shit that's given out, when you go to the bathroom, all that shit is pretty much recycling right back into the same thing, and whatever was in whatever somebody dies or whatever, all of that shit goes into the earth and it comes right back. So it's, you know, it's a revolving door with that.
Give and take, brother. For real.
Gotta go some kind of way. Shit.
Damn right. I you know, at a time that I couldn't live my life like that shit, man. Like, for real, because a lot of shit, you know, I practice in moderation, man. I think that's, for me, that's the best way to approach a lot of things, man. Just don't have too much. And that shit about too much of a good thing is wonderful. Bullshit is out the window. That shit'll leave your ass dead. So,
true.
Moderation. All right, guys, it's going to be the show for the night. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this bitch. Rule to the sound. Let me go to this stuff.
This beat is high.
Once again, Talk That Stuff number 69 is in the buzz, like to take a chat. Coming out, Deronius, R.A.E., Big Stacks, and myself. I also like to thank Mental the God, Big Stacks, Black Mav, Davenport, Blue Pineapples, Mr. Sickle. Thanks for coming through, my man. BG, and I am DJ WIDEBODY. Also, Mr. Wallace and a couple others I can't remember. Please join us next week when we will be doing Talk That Stuff, the 70th episode, 70. That's right. Please join us next week. We will be doing the worst rapper bracket. We will be doing that next week. Sorry we couldn't get around to that this week. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. But next week will be the worst rapper bracket. See you there, man. Like the peace on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.